This video is sponsored by Duer Performance.
In this new era of high-speed Core XY refined machines, the Ender 3 has largely been left behind, replaced with machines that just work. So this printer has been lost to storage, completely forgotten about. Until now, because today, we give this old Ender 3 a new purpose.
I did try to sell it on Marketplace for like $100 or something like that, and there was no takers. So if I can't sell it and I'm not willing to tinker with it constantly to get it to make good prints, we've got to find a new use for it. Like, a lot of these core parts are still valid. There's some really good stuff in here, just not as a 3D printer. One of the things I do way too often that I've thought would be a convenient upgrade is a heated brass inserts press. And right now I'm doing them by hand, which is getting frustrating very quickly. So what if we somehow attach this soldering iron to this Ender 3 frame and attach that to the frame I've built around this desk to make a manual and automatic soldering iron heated press insert system thing. I don't know what to call it. Like one of these, but motorized and ideally able to hold more than one soldering iron at a time. That would be very cool. So to start here, we are going to dismantle this 3D printer. This is a very fun process I've always enjoyed. I think taking things apart helps you learn about them in such a different way. And I've actually taken every single piece of this printer apart many, many times over the years, so this is not going to be anything new to me. For most of these parts, they're going to sit here until I find a new use for them. But there's a few that are going to come with us. These Duer Performance 7-pocket utility pants are outfitted with a very large pocket, a couple tall, skinny pockets, and your normal pockets. Lots of space for tools, supplies, whatever I need in an average project. So they're great. Back to the desk. I think I've come up with a good plan. Soldering iron like so. Other parts that we're gonna need: power supply, motherboard, limit switch, and of course our controller. We're gonna jump straight into Fusion 360. I always loved watching other YouTubers teach how they make stuff, so I'm gonna do my attempt and share with you guys how I'm gonna make these two pieces work together. I've never assembled joints in Fusion 360, but I did a little bit of research last night. So today we're gonna start off with that. And actually through this research, I learned about a really cool tool built into Fusion 360 called Insert McMaster Car Components. This is a really cool function that lets you browse a pre-made catalog of parts, and you can just import them directly into your Fusion project, which is crazy. So once you've found a piece that you're looking for, you can just hit the download button on a 3D step file, and it's like magic. You just press the button and boom, there it is in your project. Kind of crazy, like perfectly designed. Don't have to mess around trying to recreate this. So now we have our first piece. We're going to grab our other pieces and kind of build out all the pieces from the Ender 3 that already exist. So now we have the Z-rod, the stepper motor, and our two aluminum T-slot pieces that are going to move around together. Next step is we're going to take this little piece, which is what actually moves up and down along the Z rail. We're gonna model this, and then we're gonna create our plastic attachment piece that'll attach this to our rail. I wanna see it in space where I can move it how it would move by creating a joint. So the cool thing is the parts that we downloaded already are components, but the next step is just to make this body a component. Let's start by turning everything off except for our main body here. So you got to start by creating a new component, and then you can name the component, and we're going to choose from body, and then this is our one body that's left. And then now we've created a component. Now that our component is here, we can assign a relationship to it. For example, we want to say that this T-slot does not move at all. You have to come up here and right-click on the composition and click ground to parent. So now it's unground, and now we ground it to parent. This means it can't move. You can't spin it, you can't, no matter what you do, it won't move. Whereas we want this body to spin around this rod. So what we're gonna do is click Assemble Joint, and we're gonna start with this piece here. So we're gonna hold down Control, which keeps that wide open. And then for the second one, we're gonna press Control and keep that. So now it's gonna match to that. I don't like that it flipped around, so we flip it like that. And our motion type is not gonna be rigid. We want it to revolute, so we're gonna have it spin. There's quite a few different options. You can have it slide up and down. You can have it cylindrical, so it slides and spins. A ball head, so it can move in any angle. We haven't made that, of course. Rigid means that they're stuck together and they won't move. To keep things simple though, I'm actually gonna change this to just spin because I don't need to see it going up and down. So I want it to basically be able to go up and down in these slots here, and then move this way and lock itself in place for storage here. So let's send this part to the 3D printer and see if everything lines up right, and then we can get it mounted to the frame. Duer seamlessly blends comfort, freedom of movement, and style. They've just launched a new campaign about creators, which fits me perfectly, as I wear Duers while doing photography, videography, 3D printing, and making stuff. The new stretch canvas 7-pocket pant that they just launched is incredibly comfy. I might even put it in my top 3 Duer pants of all time, which is saying a lot because they have some great pants. So if you're in need of some really comfy work pants that have a ton of pockets and last a really long time, you can find them in the description below. And you can also check out the Creator Series video campaign they just launched up in that card up there. Let's get back to this video. All the parts are printed. I've got everything I need, and now it's time for assembly. It's a pretty tight fit, but it works for now. And then we'll also mount this PSU. And then I just am using a magic arm to mount this for now. I have to remove this desk to fit in there, and it's kind of annoying to move this desk. I really want to get a new one, but I don't have the money for it right now, so we're stuck with what we have. Installation was actually pretty seamless. I moved a few things around to get the wiring to work right, but other than that, it all kind of set up properly. It's time to do a first test and see if I broke anything. Let's turn the power on. The process for this is pretty simple. Turn the power on, move the Z axis up, spin the arm over, auto home, power on our soldering iron, and we're ready to go. We have successfully given this Ender 3 a new purpose. Just in time, so I've got to insert these threaded inserts into these quick release plates. So now we get to actually test it, see how well and efficiently it works, see if we need to adjust it in any ways. But for now, I think this is going to be its final form. I also made this little stand so that I can slot my quick release plates in and drop it in, and it's always stationary, it's all straight, easy. Things that I've learned while finishing this project off. Pushing down the heated insert with a flat blade ends up with a cleaner finished result. So just having the soldering iron push it 90% of the way down is the way to go. That, and this is a definite success that frees up my hands, my energy, and my focus to do other things while I'm in the midst of processing all of these. So it's gonna save me a lot of time and it doesn't take up a lot of space. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the results. Thanks for watching this video. I'll link up the files in the description of this video. And yeah, see you guys in the next one.